ruffles. Fucking
Oh
hell!
man!
Welcome back
Oh
to
man! Say it
another
ain't so.
episode. I'm definitely gonna ruffle.
Oh damn! Hey everybody!
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Don't mind
welcome back
us.
to another episode of the Infinite Podcast. It's been a hell of a week. It's only been a week. We're back for another week. Unbelievable. It's amazing. People aren't probably used to this anymore. Holly, how's your week been? I know you've had a bit of a rough week, but how's things in general?
It's good. Make sure I'm not muted. Yeah. Yeah, it's been okay. No camera for me tonight, chat, just so you know. I've got a sick puppy, so I'm going to be kind of back and forth looking at him and making sure that everything's cool. But I have had a very busy week. Work's been very busy, but I have a bunch of time off coming up over the next month here and there. So I'm going to be playing a lot of video games and working on a lot of fan art stuff, which we haven't talked about in a while. But I most importantly this week, I very enthusiastically am declaring myself part of the Bungalators.
you
And the
joined
Bunga Raiders.
You've wait. What color are they wear? Are they the red? They're wearing only red or
They're
blue?
the red crew.
How are we cripping in blood in a video? How are we cripping in blood in a video game? All right.
Ask Peanut and Hutch.
They need a like some sort of like gang sign, like in an emoji. Like when someone comes up,
you wear a certain thing though, right? It's like for if you're
Yeah.
Bungalators, you're wearing like a red something, and then if you're what's the other one's called? What's Hutch's group?
FMF.
Okay.
It's flaccid motherfuckers.
Well,
That's really what it is. That's what it is. I made Donte choke.
Oh, that is so good.
oh, shit.
That is so good.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're wearing blue. They're wearing the origin blue. Yep.
Okay. All right.
So tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central on Spaceport, the maps will be overtaken with epic fights between the Bungalators and the FMF crews. And
are you officially taking part in the war?
I'm gonna go.
Are they?
I need troops.
Are they single? Are they loading up in like single player servers? Or are they?
I think they're loading in everything. To be honest,
everything.
I think it'll be every.
So
type
nothing's
of
going to be
server.
safe. There's going to be no like, hey, I'm just in here trying to trill and just kind of grab some stuff. Y'all go ahead and do your thing. Don't mind me. It's like declare who you are for.
Look,
you
the poor souls who have no idea what's happening.
Oh man, they're just gonna get mad.
They're gonna be devastated. Yes, yeah, especially if they just happen to be wearing a color adjacent, or even a different outfit, but with that color. Like you don't know what you're getting in for, and it's gonna be the clips that are gonna come out of this are gonna be so good.
It's gonna be hilarious.
Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. Pick your side, Bungalator Nation.
If you haven't seen this Burnt Peanut stuff, which I doubt, like if you're on Twitter at all, you need to get on Twitter or get on YouTube, look up Burnt Peanuts. Some of that, like the run that he did against all those dudes, I'm like, oh my god.
That's not normal Burnt Peanut though. He's not that good. He's not. He's not.
That's why in the clip you hear the guy saying, "What is this peanut? What is this peanut?" Because that was him like beasting up, but like normally not. That was he's getting carried and stuff, but he has fun all the time. He's hilarious to watch, man.
Oh,
yeah, I like him. When he was like, excuse me, guys, in the chat, when he said, but when he like, I think he killed off most people. He's like, fuck my ass vigorously. I was like, oh my god,
Peanut,
it's hilarious.
Peanut.
Sorry, Holly, you go.
No, I was just gonna say I just watched this. He just did a podcast, Around the Bar podcast, which I didn't really know, but of course it came up in my YouTube feed because it was Peanut. This guy is a P-tuber, if you don't know, before we go, so that you understand and appreciate. Like,
yeah, give me the breakdown. 'Cause I heard P and then I heard V. Is there a thing called a V?
Well, there's V. You know what VTubers are, right?
I do not.
Oh my gosh. Well, VTubers are a huge portion of Twitch and like streaming communities. It's the people who stream and have the little like usually they're anime-esque drawn avatars that kind of move in the and they talk and the animated thing moves. That's a VTuber.
Yeah.
So Peanut is a P-tuber and he makes fun of VTubers and he's a P-tuber because he's a peanut. Get it? So, but he makes fun of VTubers all the time because
I saw a clip of Peanut, but he was playing Tarkov, and someone was like, "I've never been killed by a VTuber," and then obviously Peanut ended up killing him. I'm like, what's a VTuber? I didn't know what that was, but all right, cool. So he's a VTuber.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Well, because he's the only one. He's the only VTuber. Okay. But anyway, so he was on this podcast, and this bro, like. It's a regular dude at a bar drinking. Like part of the shtick of this thing is him drinking, and he has a guest on across from him. Well, I guess it took like a monumental effort, but they literally have the burnt peanut P-tuber character model sitting across from this guy in this regular room. And so he interviewed him for an hour and a half, and it is such a fun interview to listen to. And he talked about like his rise and like, he started streaming like 3 or 4 years ago, and he wasn't getting very many viewers. It's just like 30 maybe, right? Which is pretty good when you're starting, right? Yeah, but like he just wasn't getting attraction, and he was selling Brazilian waxes over the phone as his day job, right? And that's a whole shtick in that talking about selling pussy waxes is what they do.
I mean, I'll take one.
So anyway,
hang on a minute. That's a little bit
right?
It's misandrous, right? Where everyone can have a Brazilian, but it doesn't mean it's just for the pussy.
Well, that's what he was selling. I don't know. So anyway, so he's talking about how he had this job. Yeah, I know. He hated the, he hated the job, obviously, but then he tried again. He said he just started again like 9 months ago. Like, okay, I'm gonna get serious, a little more serious, and put a lot of effort. He went in, he learned all of the programs on his own, built his own computer, like got his brother involved. Now his brother is the one that edits all his videos. So he's only popped off in like the last 8 or 9 months. His YouTube went from like 396,000 last week when I looked at it to like 585,000 subs this week. Like that's how huge he's just absolutely been blowing up over the year. Yeah.
And I think this game really like some of the clips I've seen. Yeah, Arc Raiders.
He's funny. The thing is, and he's been playing Tarkov for a long time. Like Tarkov was his like main game. Yeah. So that's how he kind of got started, and his personality is just very enigmatic.
There's a really cool there's a little cool reel that's going around on IG, which is
Pixel Slapper. You're welcome to leave if you don't like it. Okay.
Sorry. All right. Go on. But it's talking about like the upcoming war, but like it's done so really well, right? Because it's like basically.
I saw that. Yeah,
you've seen it, right? Where it's like with the music and all that stuff, and it's like, kind of get chills a little bit, right? And Peanut's giving like his speech, and he's like, give them nothing or whatever he said. But really good stuff.
Yeah,
and it's time for like it's so good. It's so good, man. And it was that they had a little map, right, where like it was like this is their territory, this is their territory.
It's like I think they're using the Lord of the Rings as like the template for all of the things that they're doing. It's so funny. It's so funny.
I just discovered this guy, but like this run that I've got playing on screen now is just insane. I was like, get the hell out of here, man. Another one. It's so good, man. Honestly, it's been a fantastic week for Arc Raiders, but Donte, well, how's your week been? What have you been up to? How's things for you?
Hey, everything's been good. Just winding down for a busy week of work, so I'm very happy about that. Get to play some games. Hey, here's a moment of applause for me. Yes. I won my first game in Red Sec yesterday, so thank you.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Right, that's
wait. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. That was I need that. So yeah, but yeah, outside of that, man, I'm just enjoying, like, literally having fun with the little rotation, right? So it's pretty much basically me playing Battlefield, Arc Raiders, and
Mo says Battlefield is trash.
That's it. That's my three. That's my 3 rotation, and I'm having a great time with that rotation. It's been really, really fun.
Dante, you have insulted me dearly, sir.
What? Oh, wait. Oh, we did COD. Sorry. Sorry. We did COD. We did COD campaign.
And it was
we did COD.
Me and the Hollies did in one sitting. We sat down and we did the COD campaign. And also Fark, and Farky was with us as well at the end. And we finished the whole thing. And I actually had fun with it. I think people are giving it a little bit too much flack. And yes, it's not, every milsim game doesn't have to do the milsim thing, right? Like, it's a video game. So sometimes they can take risk and do something a little bit different, and I'm okay with it as long as the gameplay is fun, and especially for co-op. And that's the part that we really enjoyed. It was really cool for us playing together and basically, like, helping each other try to get through stuff in like parts where it got a little bit more dickies.
It was trash, though. You can just
no, it wasn't trash. It was trash.
No,
we had a good time. It wasn't trash at all.
Are we gonna? Yeah,
well,
we're gonna talk about this as a topic, or okay?
Yeah, it's a topic. Definitely a topic. But we do want to talk about, I definitely want to come back more to sort of Arc Raiders. So I'll jump to my week. G'day guys in the chat. Thanks for joining us again. Appreciate every single one of you. But me, I was a bit iffy on Arc Raiders, if you remember. I was like, I don't know about this, man. It's that whole, loot, extract, repeat sort of cycle. And I don't know, man, I sort of find them pointless, but I don't know, man, this game has something that just gets it right. I don't know. There's a bit that I would like to see refined. But yeah, man, this game's 110% got hooks in. I was up till 1 o'clock, which is why I looked like absolute shit this morning. Up to 1 o'clock playing this game, just trying to get a Sentinel sensor so I could upgrade my my bench to get a gun I don't even like, but I wanted it. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I would definitely want to talk about with the game, and like what's sort of going on in the future, because I think that all these live service games, they stand and fall on what they do, so far as their content going forward. So what I sort of wanted to talk about is what do we like about the game, what we don't like about the game, because I've got a few bugbears. I know one of Dante's 2000 bugbears is the peak shooting, right? You're up next to box and it just doesn't want to peak for you. And I think that's something that could be a bad point that I would agree with. But also I want to talk about what's coming in the future, because they've got a bit of an update coming in December. And I think something that these guys are doing really, really well is they've got these ongoing things, right, that are happening, but they've also got, like, for every month, they're just adding more to the game. And when I started researching what they're adding and then looking ahead to January, I'm pretty stoked for this game, but there's some things I'd like to see change. And I'm wondering if you guys would like to see some things change, or if you think it's perfect the way it is, don't mess with it, right? And the reason this sort of popped up, and I'll give shout out to PC Gamers, is they had a bit of an article where there's 8 things they'd like to see them do in the future. One of them was like, meaningful expeditions, with each expedition providing advantages that can be increased by taking part in subsequent expeditions. Rewards. One thing I will say is I haven't even unlocked projects yet. I've had it for like 5 levels and I haven't even gone there to open it because I'm just too busy trying to upgrade these workbenches. So I
get them up. I gotta get more apricots for the rooster.
I got you, man.
And lemons.
I know exactly where to go, dude. I know the exact spot. It's Village on Bluegate. You go to the Village on Bluegate, and then there's you go down to that little olive where it says Olive Grove. It's not an olive grove. It's a lemon apricot grove. Yeah, there is just a bunch of them there. You'll get it like straight up.
All right. Cool.
So for me, I guess my sort of good points about this game is 100%. It's fully addictive, but you get meaningful rewards. You get a lot of rewards, so you get so much, right? It's not like you're getting like something fully meaningful every time, but you get so much, and then it creates that whole inventory management thing. I also like the tracking system, so I can track exactly what I'm looking for. If I want to sell something, it's got that little eye at the top if I'm tracking it, so I don't accidentally sell it. There's a lot that I would love to say that's good about this game, but it's just that inventory, this is what I'm doing next. You're creating your own sort of missions to get the upgrades.
There's a cool video too. I can share a few that someone put together about like things you definitely don't want to sell versus things that it's okay to trash and sell. So you put together a good, nice, comprehensive list of like definitely don't sell. First, keep it. You'll need it for crafting. You'll need it later for something that you want to build that's important. Versus, yes, you can definitely get rid of this stuff, or you'll come. It's abundant. So if you want that, let me know. I'll share it with you.
Well, no, look, this is the thing. I think I was when I checked when I wrote the topics of the show, I was 27 hours in. I think I'm now something like 35 hours. Like racked up another 10 stupid hours. But I've started to figure out what you can sell. Just by abundance, right? And then also what I like about the game is it's very like you know where you need to go. You start to learn where you need to go to find things. You're like, oh shit, yeah, I had that over here. So I'll go back over there and I'll get a bunch of those. I know that's going to be electronics. I know that's going to be mechanical. And it does tell you that stuff, but until you like figure out what that mechanical means, like what can that mean for what I need, right? So, like, it might say mechanical, but I'm not going to get a motor out of like a storage mechanical shed. I'm going to get it off if I want a motor, I got to go to like somewhere where there's a highway where there's a bunch of cars, and I can just keep checking them until I find one that's pretty close to high loot, and you'll get it. Yeah, I love it, man. But there is a few little bugbears I have with the game.
Okay.
Nobody in America knows what a bugbear is.
Get your little bugbear off.
Whatever. What do you mean you don't know what a bugbear is?
Is that a grape? Is that a few little grapes? Is that what a bugbear is?
Nobody knows what that is.
Is that a grape?
Is this true Americans in the chat?
No, is that what bugbear means? Is it a grape? We need the translation, the Aussie to English translation. Bugbear is like a grape.
Well, it's every other English speaking country to American.
No one else uses that, but probably for you guys.
100%.
It's fine.
Everyone.
Is it grape?
Yeah, it's a grape. Yeah, it's a bugbear. Okay.
There we go. That's what's up.
You can't use the same word to describe the same word that we're asking the definition.
It's synonymous. It's fine. It's a synonym. It's fine. It's fine.
Who's Batman?
You're right.
Who's Batman?
Do that. That is annoying when someone goes blah blah, and you're like, what's a blah blah, and they go blah blah blah, and you're like, we're doing this, and this is cyclical.
It's fine.
So yeah, apologies. But yeah, it's a gripe. It's a few little gripes. It's not only me.
Monad said it's only you.
That.
No,
it's not.
Monad is also Australian, so I'm gonna say that maybe it is.
It's a Western Aussie thing.
Is it a regional Aussie thing? Not even like a continental Aussie thing?
It's a whole Aussie thing. It's just that Monad hasn't heard this. We don't need subtitles, BT Maverick. We need to put subtitles on.
Oh man. All right.
And then if I start talking and my mouth's still moving, we're just dubbing what's happening. Sorry. You want to fight? Fight me. Anyway, moving on. So my gripes with the game, couple of I agree with you, man. That whole like peak shooting would be awesome to sort of add it in, and I don't see like that would be too difficult to do. I don't think it'll break the game to like sort of add a little bit of an animation in there. We'll talk about that, Greybeard Gaming. Do you want a PvE mode? I'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that. One of the things that really bothers me is I'm like a tactical controller sort of user, right? So my crouch is always right stick in, and it's just quicker for me to. So when I'm in the middle of a battle, me to have to take my finger off the stick, hit B, and then put it back on. I don't like doing that. And there's no option to change the controllers. And I know if you have an Elite, which I don't have because they just snap those bridges on the RB button all the time, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not like pulling my controller apart to repair it. So,
I had my Elite for 5 years and used it every day before I ever even started to have a mild problem.
Stick drift.
Okay.
Well, maybe I'll get one.
Okay.
My son was giving me shit about this the other day. He's like, wait a minute, Dad. I'm like, what? And he's like, what do you mean you're not using the secondary button? And I'm like, what do you mean? What do I mean? I'm just using a normal controller. He's like, using a normal controller? I'm like, yes, I'm using a normal controller. He's like, who does that? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you got to take your finger out. He actually explained it in a way where I'm like, all right, this kid's got a point. He's like, you got to take your finger off this button to do this, and you got to take your finger off this button to do this. Well, I press it with these buttons, and I never need to take my finger off the trigger.
I use the back paddle buttons. I remapped the ABXY to the back paddles. Yeah. And so my thumbs never leave the sticks. Like ever. Yeah. They don't need to, unless you have to hit the D-pad for something. And it's so much faster because you can hit like, if for some reason you need to hit X and B quickly, in succession, there's like no lag. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to swap. It's the only way to play.
I need a new one, man, and I need to find one that's not refurb. It's bothering me on Amazon.
Why don't you just go to Design Lab and do one
and create one
directly to them? Is that on Xbox site?
Yeah, Xbox Design Lab, and then you can make a cool one with like whatever.
I'm gonna have to do that. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I just this new job. Is
everything I see is pretty much just like a bunch of refurbs on Amazon.
Go to
real quick, but
yeah, go to Xbox Design Lab.
Refurb.
No, I want something brand new. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're just always so in Australia. I think they're like 200. Like they're like half the price of a console, basically, or maybe a little bit more, or maybe a little bit less now.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but they're good.
Yeah, I think like 150.
Who's Ace 00? The showcase wasn't amazing. You can take time off from capping for failure. Microsoft sometimes. Yeah, look, and we'll talk about it, but you're probably not going to like it, and I hope you get triggered. So enjoy your time here.
Andrew Wilkins guy.
Oh yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, he can't remap the buttons in game if you have a normal controller, and like I said, I'm a tactical, so I like to hit the stick and slide instead of hitting B. It's just it's the whole thing. But I knew it was coming.
I'll be here all day.
Does that work?
Well, at least for a couple hours.
Yes, there's that. Here's the other thing. Here's the only thing with the looting that sort of pisses me off, right? Unless you know exactly where to go, where blueprints will pop, and it's not always the high rarity places, right? So you might be in a high rarity place and you're visiting sort of the wrong area of the high rarity place. Blueprints don't pop that easily, man. When I wrote this, again, I had 2 blueprints in 27 hours of playing the game. Like it, and those 2 blueprints were the same blueprint. So that was frustrating. But I actually picked up the Wolfpack blueprint last night when I went to a different place, and I sort of I now know where to go to get that. But like, I was so happy that was a blueprint that I picked up. I'm like, oh, that's handy. Like I need that because I got to kill.
Is the Wolfpack for the grenade? Is that the Wolfpack grenade or is it? Okay, that's the one that I see when people get throw up in the sky and it comes raining down, destroying the enemy.
Yeah. It splits in it. So if you want to kill the Rocketeer or you want to kill you need a bunch of Wolfpacks and you can take it out. Like if you got 3 to 4 Wolfpacks, you'll take out a Rocketeer pretty easily. Okay. I watched Bushido do it. He did this whole just go stand around the corner, Riskit for 5 minutes. And I'm like, don't speak to me like that. And then he started the shit. And I was like, I'll go stand around the corner whilst you're. I was like, don't tell me what to. All right, I'll go stand around the corner. But yes, I think the blueprint's a little bit, what's the word? Elusive. And maybe they should sort of provide some tips on where you can find stuff. Like you can go to the internet, that's cool, but it's not guaranteed. I do know where another blueprint is for the Ventinator, I think it is, or the Venator or whatever it is.
The Venator is the OP game.
What is that? Yeah. What is the gun that Peanut is using in that clip that we've been all looking at?
Yeah,
what you shared again today. Is that the one, the handgun? The handgun?
All of the streamer guys are just using the Venator because it's so broken in its OP build that they don't use any other game They don't use any other gun just because the Venator is so good and it kills them in 2-3 shots. If that.
So story on that.
So is there a place to find the blueprint for that, or is it just kind of like a random?
Yes, and I know where it is, and I'll tell you after the show because I don't want everyone to have it because I'm a shellfish.
No, I like it. I like it. Be selfish. I like it.
But so last night I was playing and I was I had the 2, the one where you get to damage raiders. So earlier in my runs, I was like, this fucking raider, man. I ran past the guy, and then I'm like, friendly, and he starts acting weird. I'm like, he's not saying nothing, and he's acting weird. Yeah. So like I was like, I'll just turn and bail. No, I just turn and bail because I'm like, I'm not going to start shit if he hasn't started shit. But I'm also rocking the Toro or the big, the handgun. I'm like, if he even tries anything, I'm going to turn around and wax his dude.
Anvil.
The anvil. That's the one. So like I turn and run. Dude takes a shot at me. I'm like, you piece of shit. Like, why? So I run back, smoked him, like absolutely smoked him, stole all his shit. Here's the problem in that, right? Because I had a feat where I needed to do a certain amount of damage to raiders, and then I've already half done the damage, right? So I'm halfway through the feat, man. So I got to finish it off. So I went in naked, right, into Buried City. If you don't know what I mean, like going in naked, that means like going in with absolutely nothing, right? So I just sort of scrounged until I found a gun. And if you don't have a gun, the chance that a gun drops is much higher. So you usually get one, right? And plus, I also know where a weapons crate is, so I was like straight to the weapons crate. Anyway, so I went in and I'm like, I want to be a piece of shit, but I have to do this because I need to finish this feat, man. It's already halfway through, right? And plus, there's an achievement I was very close to, which for dropping raiders, and I think you need to kill 10 or something. And I was like 2 away from it, so I'm like, all right. So I collected a couple of things, headed down to the train station. And I was like, I wasn't looking for people, but if something happened, I was always on the way to the train station. This dude's like friendly. And I'm like, hey man, friendly. And then I just dropped him. He sent me the longest abusive message on Xbox. He's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I literally apologized to him. I'm like, I am sorry, dude. This is the reason I did that. I apologize. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't normally do that shit. And he's like, that's cool. Like, I get that. And I'm like, cool. All right. So we're still good. Right. And anyway, I collected some rares from him. And one of them was what's it called? The Venator or whatever it is?
The Venator.
The Venator, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm pretty sure I've done the feat, but I have to kill someone else with this thing just to see like how it rocks. Oh my God. I went down the train station and there's a dude rolls up and I just cleaned him up. It was like seconds. I'm like, dude's dead. Like he took 2 steps and was down. And that's also and then he also had a whole bunch of rare shit and some key cards, man. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, bro.
That could be why dude sent you such a interesting message, right? Because he knew he had that on him and you ganked him for it.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I would be pissed also. It has happened to me. Like, I don't know how many.
You didn't have to do that. You could have just told him, like, hey, dude, I've got this feat. Can I shoot you in the foot once or twice? I'll use my bandage on you and get you up. And
So Monad, so I had a couple of bad runs. Monad saying that's not what you said the other day, Riskit. You said, fuck them all. You're going to open up on anyone you see from now on. But that's in. I was cracking the shits because we just got waxed out like a bunch of times. But that's in duos. Solos is a very different kettle of fish, right? So like mostly everyone's cool. Everyone just keeps it chill. You do get your dickheads. And this is my other bugbear with the game, right? It's people like Gaz. Fuck him. Like the people like him who will absolutely just lure you into this false sense of like, I'm a good dude, and then are absolute fuckwits. I can't stand that type of person, and I can't stand that type of player. I think it tells you something about the person. But anyway, let's move on from that. The other one that I can't stand about this toxicity and the fucking is these weirdo fucks that from miles away, they'll be like sniper shot, wax out half your shield, half your health. And you're like, why'd you do that? Why would you do that? It's not like
they can get down to you to get your loot. It's stupid. Yeah. They're just doing it
to grief. Yeah. And you're not getting anything from it except you just being a dick. And I feel like what the game needs to do, and someone mentioned it, I think it was Monad the other day, and Holly, I think you were in, what the game needs to do is do what GTA 5 did, is start taking these grief people and sticking them in lobbies with each other instead of putting them in lobbies with people who are cool, and sort of get like an honor system happening. So we don't have to deal with these absolute fuckwits in the community. Sorry, Holly.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Put Gaz in there. Gaz can lead the toxicity over in that fucking thing. Keep him over there. And do it on Twitter as well. If you can corral all those people into sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, keep going.
You know what I
push them downstairs. You know what I mean? Like off a cliff. I don't know. Put him in a burning car.
Put him
whatever.
In a body bag, Johnny. Yeah.
Sorry, Holly. Sorry, I'm done.
Nah, just what I started doing because I've had a couple people in solos be mean like that, and I just block them. Like from that moment on, I'm like, I'm gonna run into 100 more of you assholes, but at least this one I could control, right? Like I will never see you again. Good day, sir. So I just block them afterwards.
Good day,
annoying,
sir.
but yes.
Good day.
I said good day.
Actually just pulled the trigger on a. Yeah, but there was a price deal. That's what I want to say. I have words. I just don't know how to use them. There's a deal. I found a new one on Amazon for just.
It is Black Friday.
Yeah, it's
so...
$124. So
nice.
Let's pull the trigger. It'll be here tomorrow. I'm happy.
Nice.
I'm tired of these damn rechargeable batteries I'm using.
Well, look, I'm going to pull the trigger on. I was saying before is so like I was getting paid pretty well, but like like 5 kids. I got 5 kids to feed. God, I can't believe I became the dude off Total Recall, right?
You did.
But he was lying, and I literally
He didn't have no kids. He was lying the whole time.
Yeah, but he wished he had 3 hands. Anyway, so such a great movie, that movie. Why do they make movies like that anymore? Remember those? Anyway, so yeah, now I've got a new job with like things are pretty much way better. So I'm definitely gonna pull the trigger on one of those. But those things are expensive, man. Like, I mean, and I never thought that there was that much of a benefit. But based on you, Holly, and based on my son telling me that like I'm crazy for using a normal controller, I sort of feel like maybe I should pull the trigger. But look, I want to go to you guys and like
it's the controller in my opinion. Especially if you're with an Xbox, it's the controller that you should be using.
Yeah,
I've been buying
the battery.
The beginning. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said, obviously, about some of the build quality issues because like it has issues for some reason with like bumpers sometime over time compared to like the standard ones. So they need to fix that. But the battery is the customizability, customization. Oh my God, am I having a stroke?
Customization. Yes.
Help me, thank you. All right, that is bar none. And the battery life is truly elite. Like I charge that thing and I don't have to worry about charging it again for at least 2 to 3 days, at least.
Mine's like 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, it seems. I mean, exactly, probably. I'm just whereas these.
Yeah, you just probably plug it in just because you don't want to.
I always put it back on the what's the name. Yeah, exactly. Like if it's sitting there, I'm like, oh, I haven't set this thing on the charger in a while. And now every couple of days I'll set it back on the charger, but I never have issues. I think there's one time in my use of it where I was like, I had probably been playing it for so long, it actually said like, yo, you probably want to put this thing back on the charger. And that's telling. So that alone, I think, is worth it. And the way you can, like Holly was talking about, customizing the back panels and the triggers is legendary because you can actually save it to specific games as well. So you can customize it for the game that you're playing, so it knows what those particular panels are going to do.
And
or remap your
buttons. The other thing I do for Call of Duty is, you can shorten the trigger pulls.
Yeah.
So I shorten the trigger pulls all the way up for like Call of Duty so that you get a much faster response.
Why? Yeah. Exactly. Why aren't you better than me then? I'm sorry.
I am.
You are so not better than me. I said good day. Salutation. We're gonna have to now have a cutoff. I'll like fly you over here, and then we'll get on the land system, and then we'll just like gun game. We're doing this. And if you win, we'll never speak of it again. So Holly, I want to get like, because I know you're super hyper positive about Arc, right? And there is a lot coming as well. So a little bit about like what's coming down the pipe, which I haven't really talked about. But Northline, so November, you've had the new map, the community unlock event, which is and Holly, I was bitching about it the other day, but I finished it. So you know what I mean. And then you've also got the other thing that's the cosmetic, right? So the battle pass, I finished that.
Oh, the deck.
Yeah. And then not is it the deck? No, it's not the deck.
Yeah, that's what
the deck is the other thing.
Oh, the event? Are you talking about the event?
Yeah,
the live event. Okay.
Yeah, the live event. So I finished the live event.
That's where the Bungalator skin's from.
The Bungalators. It's time for war. And then we got the new Arc, the Matriarch, the Shredder. Oh my God, that Shredder is a piece of shit, man.
Dude.
I ran into that thing.
Oh, the Shredder?
And I got ripped to pieces.
The Shredder?
Yeah.
I saw one clip which was so hilarious because it's like a guy who like it's the doorway is kind of closed, and you would think like it can't get through, and then it turns itself like sideways. It kind of wiggles its way through. Yeah, he wasn't safe. So I haven't come across it just yet, but
the arcs are getting smarter. I think there's AI in this, proper AI in this game where it's starting to learn.
It's the best. Yeah. It's the best NPC AI in any game I think I've ever played.
Yeah,
I mean, they have very simplistic idea. You know, like it's not like trying to like program like a whole city of people, right? Like in a cyberpunk, that would be very difficult, right? But like the different types of arc have very defined patterns, but their tip off, like their recognition of players is like,
and then what they'll do to get you has changed. It's changed. They're getting more like aggressive as they'll come into a building. They'll go if they can't get in that way, they'll go around the top and then come in, and you're like, what the anyway, but so there's new gameplay items that have come in, and there's new quests. That was November, right? In December, what we're looking at is snowfall, which is a map condition. There's going to be snow. I've seen rain a couple of times, and I've seen a blizzard like a few times. There's a new event, which I assume is the community unlock event. It's called Flickering Flames. There's an expedition departure window. I don't know exactly what that's all about. We got a new rated deck coming, and there'll be new quests. I think the quests are a bit crappy. They're just that fetch shit, and I think that something should be a little bit more meaningful. But Holly, how are you feeling about how it is now, where the game's at, what you think it should have coming forward, and any bugbears or gripes, if you want to use that word?
I mean, it's so crazy. I played the tech test in May, and it was a pretty open version of the game with FARQ, and we only got like the last day access because it was a closed access thing. And from that point on in May, I was just like, oh, this is it. This is the game. Like, I have been counting down until this game came out. I was so excited for it. And it has lived up to my expectations and more. It is absolutely fantastic. And there is not one specific thing that you could say, this is the draw, right? It's just the whole package itself just works together. If you took any of the singular pieces out, it wouldn't necessarily be like this phenomenal singular thing, right? It's like the perfect soup. And so, except for the music on its own is just absolutely phenomenal. It is so good. But
the sound is the whole sound thing.
Yes, but I'm just talking about like the lobby music, and the soundtrack to the game is actually super legit. Yeah. The audio is really well done, right? You could just hear something and know exactly which type of arc it is that's in the other room. Like, it's really, really good.
If it's that damn Rolly.
Yep.
Damn Rolly Foley with the
or if you hear the tick, 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 then you know there's a spider, a face hugger in the room, right? The clankus. So what expeditions are is that you start donating all of these materials, and essentially basically what it does is it lets you respec your character one time during the season. So like the skill tree, well, the thing is though, is like the skill tree, your points that you use are fixed. And so they just nerfed the breach, the storage locker breach thing. They nerfed it big time. So people had been pumping a lot of points into that portion of the skill tree just to get to the security breach, because like the last one on that tree, and you have to spend like 36 points just to get to it out of 75. And I think a lot of people were pretty annoyed, right, that the skill breach got nerfed so bad. So and you only get one respec. But I don't know if I guess there's a couple things here to talk about. I don't know if but they are going to do a soft wipe on everybody, right, at the beginning of each season, right? So you'll get reset.
Reset is in what?
Like, you'll go back down to level 1 and have to rebuild again. But they're doing it They're not
as long as they don't
doing
fuck
it
with the workbenches and stuff. Are they resetting everything that you've got? They better not be doing that shit.
I mean, that's the traditional extraction shooter loop, right? Is that they reset. It's usually a hard reset, but they said they were doing something different. They were doing some kind of other. They were talking about how it was going to be a soft reset, and I don't remember exactly all of the things that will reset. So we'd have to look that up because I don't.
We don't do soft around here. We only do things hard.
Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that will be coming up. So it'll you need to live service, like you said, live service is as good or bad as the content that you have lined up to come with it and to keep people engaged, right? And especially games like this, because it is a flash in the pan thing, and they really and I think they do have a good loop already, because they already had the live event and they added the matriarch already, right? And like, we haven't even had a shot at trying to kill the queen yet, even though there's a lot of people out there that have. So I think it's good. And the other thing is, I saw somebody put it up on their stream the other day, and I haven't been able to find it yet, but you do know that there is an entire chain of arc that we haven't even seen yet. They just get bigger and bigger. Like, the queen was big, the matriarch is bigger than the queen. I saw this really cool size chart that went from like a bastion, right? Which is kind of the smaller of the big ones. It's a smaller one. And then they had each one stop behind it in like shadows. And man, it goes up to like an emperor, which is like 8 times the size of the queen or something like that. It's ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know what's funny about that. I don't like what's funny about what I said.
Nothing.
8 times the
I don't
size.
get it.
I'm sorry.
I don't.
Nothing. Stop. Riskit. Stop.
Yeah.
So,
but it's big. Very big.
And then when you go on, Bluegate, if you had been on Bluegate before the matriarch came out, if you look up in the hills in the distance, like off the map, but in the hills, you saw like a bigger arc on the hill, kind of stumbling around. That was the matriarch.
It's also the emperor, by the way. There is a rumor that the emperor is on Buried City, and I've seen it in the distance walking around, and it's the big one that's on Bluegate. That's you got to do that quest where you got to go look at the big thing that's made all the mess. Like, it's that one. Sorry, keep going.
Well, I think it was the matriarch that was in the distance before, and now when you go on Bluegate, the one in the distance is bigger. So I think it's like each tier, right, is showing up in the distance and moving around just to kind of like, get the impending doom thing going. It's really cool. That's just such a good idea.
Yeah, 100%. But that's so what are your bugbears? I'm curious about. Look, I agree with you. The whole soup thing, yeah, it's the perfect soup, like mixing of everything together. It's not just one thing. There's a little bit of jank. I would like to see them tidy up over time, just with jumping and grabbing and stuff. But what are your bugbears?
I guess I don't have a lot, but one thing is I like the Stella Montis map. I don't like how, like, out of all the maps, that is just the one map that is a straight PvP server. It is, I mean, and then there's shredders on it, right? But like, it is all about people just murk you all the time, every corner, right? Some people have figured out how to kind of camp spawns, which I don't like. So the Stella Montis map, I like that it's indoors, which is different than all the others. That's really cool. But I wish that they would lower the number of players on the map so that you have a little more variability in how often you run into people, because you just run into people all the time, right? Like, constantly. And when you're in, and like you were talking about, 3v3 and 2v2 maps are have a much higher tendency to be combative than the 1v1 maps. So And then when you do have quests that are on Stella Montis, it's just hard. I went in with Red and Colt last night, like 6, 7, 8 times trying to just do this one quest to open up a container in this one area. And we could never get there because we'd always wind up in these fights. And then the map is confusing and you get lost in it and you're trying to figure out how to get around. And then you run into somebody
Have you tried solo? So it sounds like so going back to old mate's question, do you want to see a PvE mode? And I would say, would you say that's what you want to sort of see? Because the only way to stop that.
So I know there's people are way too invested in this argument. Like they get angry about this argument. And I'm like, on one hand, I agree. Arc Raiders is as successful as it is because it has the threat of other players. Like it is, like you don't realize, and they even said this, right? Like their original game was just straight PvE mode, right? There was no PvP. And they just said it was just not quite there. It was just missing something. And then the NoClip people has made a 3-part documentary on this game and the making of it. And they released the first part today. I watched it. So if you guys are interested, go check out NoClip. But they just said it really wasn't that interesting and they had to do a reset. So to add in the PvP. And so there is something about the game that is, the imminent threat of other players is part of the intrigue. But I also don't like gatekeeping of games because there are all types of players. There are people with disabilities. There are people that are older that like to game. There are people that just have shit reflexes, right? And people with who are coming in at a disadvantage or just they're new to gaming and they're just not great at it, right? Like they get murked every single time and then they get frustrated and they leave, right? And that's part of the reason that, like, as much as you might hate skill-based matchmaking in COD, that's what keeps people coming back because they win a few, they lose a few, they win a few, they lose a few, right? So it keeps people feeling like there's risk reward and that there's still some reward in the gameplay loop. So when people gatekeep and say absolutely not, there's no way, they shouldn't have a PvE mode because then all just the lower players or whatever will just go over there. I'm like, yeah, because all you do is kill them and they can't get anything done. They're exhausted from it. So I really don't I don't mind if there's a PvE mode because I think that it just opens up a game or opens up those games to people that need it. Just like you were talking about putting all the sweats in a lobby and letting them duke it out. It's kind of the opposite end of it, right? Like people don't like, some people really hate the stress of running into somebody else and it, like they freeze up, right? So just let them go. The Ark are scary enough. Like they're a big enough accomplishment for people who don't want that threat.
So yeah, I mean, I get I get the loop of the game is the stress of having other, but it's also learning. So you can learn how to deal with the Ark, but there's always the there's human element because you can learn how to deal with people and avoid them and get moving and cover your bases pretty quick. But if someone, this is the other problem I have, is if someone wants to drop you and they get the drop on you, it's done easily. So I think that maybe they should sort of beef up the shields against human weapons or sort of balance that a little bit better because it shouldn't be that if you're the one that shoots first, you're the one that wins. I don't like that whole sort of metric. And then that just encourages people to shoot first and ask questions later. I mean, me and Bushido running some maps and we had a couple of battles with guys because they were acting shady. I mean, one dude I told to put the gun away 3 times and he just sort of started looking towards us with the gun. And I'm not like this, but Bushido just dropped it. He's like, oh, we told you, man, 3 times. You had your opportunity. And I sort of don't like it creates that sort of feeling. Just to come back to quickly what gets reset, I am actually a little bit pissed off now. Your stash upgrade process, your inventory, so all the upgrades on your slots, you lose that. Your inventory items, your blueprints, you lose all those coins, player level, skill points, the raided den, the workshop, which is stupid, and the quests will reset as well.
No,
and then you have to go back through to the
that.
same.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You what?
Sorry. Say that again. Say that again. I'm sorry.
The workshop resets.
I thought you were. It does. Okay. Well, it's probably different. It's probably different things to upgrade it, though. They wouldn't just leave it as the same things every time.
Well,
I do agree with you, though. I understand I understand having caps on inventory management because you have this crafting system, but I really hate inventory management caps, especially when there's so many different loot items and you need so many different ones for different things.
Well, this is the thing. Like I've spent probably, like, I don't think I'm like exaggerating when I say this. It might be like 50 matches I've been trying to get this Sentinel thing, and then I figured out where it works for me to get it. That's a lot of my time has gone into these workshops. You want me to do that every season? Fuck off. Like that's like there should be some, like it's all the cosmetic shit you get to keep. You know what I mean? Your bonus skill points earned from expeditions and bonus stash slots earned from expeditions. So you can earn some stuff from expeditions that you get to keep and bring forward. And now I'll probably do those. But like, you've got so many different progression things. Like leave the workshops as they are, so we can at least, or make them much harder to upgrade. So they take much longer to upgrade, or make them much easier. So make them harder so we keep them, or make them easier so you can quickly upgrade those workshops and keep moving with the other stuff in the game. Because I find myself hyper-focusing on like those workshops to try to get them done. And then I hyper-focus on the feats, then I'll hyper-focus on this. Like, it's hard to get everything done in one sort of, track everything so you know what's going on. It does have a good tracking system. Yeah, I don't like that they do that. That to me is just recycling your content. Like, we've already done this. Now you want us to do it again. I never liked that. I never liked the reset. I never liked the prestige bullshit on COD. I never liked any of those systems where it's like, we're not going to add content. What we're going to do is we're going to make him do it again. And I don't like that. That to me is a cheap way to do it.
I just think you should wait to judge it until you've tried it. I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that they might have found a way to make it interesting, right?
We'll see. Yeah,
the game is interesting, and you didn't think the game was going to be interesting, and now you're obsessed with it, right? So, like, just give it a chance before.
Yeah, but that's where you'll lose me, right? If they wipe all my progress and they wipe everything, and then I've got to go do the same shit again, that's where they'll lose me, man. And there is a significant portion of the community where that is where you will lose them. Donte, I want to jump to you because we've got a whole bunch of other stuff. We've been talking about Ark now for over an hour. Let's jump into your, like, how you're sort of feeling about the current state of the game. What are your bugbears? I'm going to keep saying it. What are your bugbears? Like, what would you like to see in the future? All that sort of stuff. What's the thoughts looking ahead?
What's my gripe? I don't have a gripe. No, I mean, I'm not like super deep in it. I think you're probably further than me in terms of like hours played at this particular point. I've been just kind of enjoying just like the loop of going in with the homies, and I'm like, I don't have a clear direction just yet, so I probably don't have like any really cool. I'm still doing like the free loadout, so it's like, because I don't want to go in with anything decent and then like lose it. So until I get like a good probably the one time I get like a really good blueprint, I'm gonna be really, really nervous because I'm gonna be like, we need to extract, and if we don't extract what I got for the blueprint and I didn't put it into that, if I didn't have the loadout that has me that special slot, yeah, I'm gonna be pissed
prison
off.
Prison
pocket, yeah, exactly. To put it in your butt and sneak it back out into Speranza. No, all right. So, in terms of if they did do a PVE. Like, because I agree. Like, I think the way the game is now, like, I was kind of concerned about the idea of like, oh, you're just going to get griefed a lot. And like, that was going to be a deterrent, especially for those who did not want to play for that, right? Because I think the world is cool and interesting to be able to go in and the threat of basically all the different types of AI that can kill you, right? So if you're engaged with something with an AI and you get something cool, then all of a sudden some jerk is shooting you from the side. I thought it was just going to be a ton of that. Interesting enough, I would say it's like 70-30, maybe even 80-20 in terms of at least what we've encountered of people who are cool versus people who are going to open fire on you no matter what. And I think that's cool. That was a lot better than what I was expecting to make me get pissed off and be like, I don't want to play that game because as soon as I jump in, there's a high chance I'm just going to get jacked by somebody unless I want to focus on trying to play PvP, and I don't want to do that, right? So far it hasn't been that way. Now things could change, especially with the upcoming war that's about to happen, right? So who knows? If they did do a PvE option, I would just say like make it where maybe you make the quests a little longer, and then you make the arcs more dangerous. So that way, so like there's that trade-off, right? Like, yeah, you can do PvE, but the arcs are going to be that much more dangerous, and then you have like a longer quest that you, and like if you're doing it for friends, like with friends, like with
like everything's a night raid.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Everything's that level of danger, right? So that way, that's why you're in there doing PvE and not getting the same type of rewards that maybe you would get during PvP. I think that would be cool for the people who maybe don't care about getting grief potentially, right? Because like there are people who like Holly mentioned who are going to get in the game maybe kind of fresh and new, spend 20-25 minutes of doing something, and then you're going to come across someone like Gas who's going to jack you at the last second, right? So it's like there are going to be that people that you're going to kind of maybe potentially push off to the side, and I think you want your game to probably, I mean, if you can make it so it appeals to as many people as you possibly can, right? So a little something for everybody. Most people who still want to encounter other players, because like that's a really fun and cool part of the game, are still going to play the normal PvP, PvE mode. If you offer the PvE mode, you give something to those who maybe don't care about that, but want to enjoy what the AI and the arcs can do, and maybe want that level of threat to be more prominent versus the other players that you would, that can grief you. So, I mean, who knows if they'll do it, but I think if they did do it, that's something I would like to see.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best sort of solution, is to go with that whole raising the difficulty on one end. Or again, I go back to like, let's balance the PvE, because I think the PvE is like pretty, like I said, you shoot first, you're going to win that battle. And as I said to Monad the other day, and we got griefed a couple of times, I was like, that's it, man. Everyone's getting it. I see anyone, they're dead. That's it.
Well, and that's why the lobbies have become not as friendly as they used to be, because you have people going in pretending to be nice and then killing you. And so then people get twitchy, right? Because they're mad because they got duped, and I don't blame them,
Yeah.
And then it just makes everybody turn into that, right? Where you're like, well, next person I see, like, I'm not gonna trust him. I'm not gonna,
Now I got trust issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's my anvil is like my now go-to weapon. And I don't have a blueprint for it, but I've luckily been collecting them up from just around the place. I'm picking them up. So every time I always bring an anvil in, man, and like you hit someone with an anvil, they start thinking twice, and they either run away or they come back and get it. So that is my go-to, as well as I haven't had the Fentanyl, but that Fentanyl thing like dropped that dude like in seconds. So that thing is OP as fuck. Look, we do got to move on. Before we do move on, please do hit the like button. Share us out. We go live every second week, and this week every week. Going to move on to the next topic, which is obviously the bigger topic. We're going to talk about this. There was quite a bit, and a bit disappointed. I was actually a little bit disappointed in the response, and maybe I'm generally not. You guys know me. Like if Xbox does something I don't like, they get both barrels. Like probably more than PlayStation gets it, right? Just because I am a fan of the brand. So, but I found this partner preview really good. I thought it was really good, man. Like it especially with their pivot and the direction. It wasn't just about the games for me, but also Dave the Diver. So I bought Dave the Diver. I wanted to play that game so bad. I bought it on Mac, right? And the problem is I don't jump on my Mac. I don't think of it as my gaming machine. So that was there was a whole bunch of stuff in that was a win for me. So I guess I just sort of quickly wanted to go through press the wrong button. Sort of quickly go through the games that were there. So there was Artemis, which is a third-person roguelite shooter, which is set in hell-infested Paris. There was The Mound, and that's in Game Pass as well. So that was the early one. It looks like it's a sort of a Neo sort of a type game. Mound, Omen of Cthulhu, didn't really do it for me, man. I don't like that. I don't like that first person sort of old school sort of musket type thing, but that again is in Game Pass. They showed a little bit from 007 First Light, but like who cares about the Aston Martin? There was vampire crawlers. I mean, I know that Garuda is probably losing his shit about that again in Game Pass. Raji, I actually played Raji a little bit at the start, and I wasn't a massive like it was like one of those AA sort of indie games that wasn't quite there, right? It had a little bit to go, so I'd be interested to see how they do with the sequel. But Raji Kaliunga, the sequel to Raji. It's sort of the other one was like a top-down sort of roll-around beat-em-up sort of thing. Tides of Annihilation. Typically this is not my type of thing, but I actually watched it a couple of times just to see if I'm like, am I going to like this? I'm a bit iffy on that. It's very anime, very Japanesey sort of thing, and I don't know. I don't normally get down with those. I don't like my Final Fantasies unless they're turn-based, but yeah, we'll see. Reanimal, that looked amazing. I want to go through you guys as well and just see what your like top picks of the game were. Zoopunk, I'm interested in this, and it does look like it's got a bit of jank to it. So that's the rabbit, the rhino, and the squirrel sort of like, you know, fighting all the other animals. It could be interesting. Erosion, we'll see. Echo Generation 2, which is like a deck builder, sort of narrative-driven game.
Deck builders,
right? Too many. Roadside Research. So Echo Generation 2 is obviously in Game Pass. They must have done pretty well because that's their second run in Game Pass. So all the Game Pass haters seem to have this thing, but it's funded a second game and they've done it again. So strange that people come back to Game Pass. Roadside Research, which is sort of like a mystery adventure type game. There was Crowsworn. Now that looks interesting to me. I love I think it might be a little bit roguelike-y, and I don't like that. But what I do like is Metroidvanias. And this is the thing with Metroidvanias; they tend to be on the really, really hard side. I think Ori sort of nailed the difficulty for me. So if you can get a game sort of in the Ori, like I couldn't get into Silksong 2. I know that's probably sacrilege, but like it just gets too hard with a lot of the moves you have to do to play it.
It's a stay alive.
I don't have enough time to like just focus on a game for like 6 months at a time and learn it. And I'm just not that type of gamer. If I was young, maybe I would, but yeah, I'm not anymore. But Crowsworn to me is interesting. I'd be really interested to see how that goes. Dave the Diver, obviously, with the upcoming DLC, is also going to Game Pass, and Dave the Diver drops straight into Game Pass. Total Chaos, that dropped straight into Game Pass as well. That dropped straight away that day. It wasn't on Game Pass, my bad. And then Clover Pit was another surprise release. There was some other stuff that happened there. But I guess my top picks for the is sort of, I'm interested in Zoopunk. I'm interested in Crowsworn. And Dave the Diver is just 110% win. Artemis also pretty interested in Artemis. So Mo, you're not as good as me, so then I don't need to make excuses. So when you're as good as me, then we can have this excuse discussion.
I'll take that, Mo.
Yeah. It's I don't have skill issues. A lot of people do, but I don't. Yeah, so I guess Donte would jump to you and see like what's your what are your picks of the show? What do you think of the show overall, like the pacing, all that stuff?
Yeah, I think they've I mean, this is obviously the partner preview, so I think they've nailed kind of the pacing in terms of how they do this, right? Because it's not like it's none of the people coming up talking, having interviews for stuff that nobody really cares to see. It's basically one game after the next, letting you know like what if it's going to be Xbox Play, which every one of those was Xbox Play Anywhere, so that's pretty cool. Some of the games that stood out to me, which was, again, I always look at these shows as to if I can pick out 5 to 6 games that I like, then they've done their job, right? So for the third party one, I thought Artemis was great. The Cthulhu game looked good. The Mound, I thought that looked cool. Crowsworn looks really cool, but I'm with you. I think it's going to be very hard and unforgiving. Just looking at some of the gameplay. Total Chaos, I'm going to pass on that one. I mean, it looks interesting, but now I'm good. I don't need to have nightmares. I'm passing that one. Reanimo, though, yes, please. I really want to play that one. So, Holly, you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Zoo Punk also looks really, really cool. I want to play that one. That one looks really, really cool. So those are the ones. Those are the ones that like I'm kind of remembering that I could wrote down from memory. I need to go back and probably watch it again. But I thought the show and the pacing was great. It was a nice little 30 some odd minute show. Showed a lot of cool like combination of AA. I think maybe one or two, maybe AAA, but most of it seemed like AA. But all like cool.
Tides of Annihilation. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All stuff that looked good and interesting. That to me was like, that's the point of doing these shows, right? If I can sit there and look at it and say, okay, cool, when this hits, I'll be interested in basically picking it up. I didn't see much in terms of like if it's going to be on Game Pass or whatever, but that's cool. Not everything needs to be in Game Pass, right? So especially if these are smaller.
So 9 of these were on Game Pass.
9 were? Okay. So like everything doesn't have to be
yeah.
in it though, is what I'm saying. It's kind of like, especially if they're like smaller games, which aren't going to be like the full $69.99 or $79.99. If you got some that are coming in at $39 or whatever the case is, that's cool, right? That gives player choice. But yeah, for me, like anyone saying that they didn't like it, cool, that's fine. If you just mainly looking for something really, really, AAA and huge big budget, I thought it was cool for what they showed. And I walked away coming across saying, hey, there's at least 5 to 6 games that I plan on playing when they hit next year. So to me, they did their job.
Yeah, I mean, and like there wasn't a lot of hype sort of leading into it. I actually didn't even know about it until the day before.
Me neither.
Like,
me neither.
So,
I watched it the day after. So I didn't even see it when it went live. And I'm usually like all on top of these things where I'll pull it up on my phone or something, even when I'm at work and kind of casually listen. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I think the way that they sort of built they built the hype and they delivered the show. It's a partner showcase. It's not one of their big things. So I was pretty surprised at the reaction. Everyone was being a bit down on it. And I'm like, well, I think they showed some really, really good stuff. I thought it was, there was some good stuff, and it was a wide breadth of things. I felt like there's something for everyone in there. And yes, they weren't all on Game Pass, Donte, but they were all play anywhere. So if you buy this game, except for PS, you buy any one of these games and you can play it across all platforms except for PlayStation. Because PlayStation is Holly, how did you feel?
Here you go.
Standouts for you, like what your thoughts on like sort of the aftermath, the reaction to it? How you feeling?
Yeah, I thought it was for trying to hit all consumers. I thought they did a good job for trying to show a lot of balance. I thought it was very well balanced. The pacing was good, like you guys said, like 30 minutes is good, right? That's about the right, especially for a show like this where you're just really trying to get the word out about all of the games that you have. There weren't a lot of games for me in this. Really, I didn't think. I have no interest in the Stellar Blade 2nd edition version. Like, isn't that Tides of Annihilation? I heard a lot of people say that's like, oh, it's like the Stellar Blade that's now going to be on Xbox and other places. And then that's just not for me, right? But I'm sure it will do well. Dave the Diver coming to Xbox is like, I'm like, good, but I'm also like, that game's been out everywhere else for like 2 years ish, right? So it's kind of like,
I mean, I have, but a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's kind of like, yeah, but I almost feel like it shouldn't be celebrated because it's like, it should have been here already, right? Like, that's just kind of how. But I'm very glad that everybody's going to get to play it. It's fantastic. I've played it. I love it. Also, and that one's not going to Game Pass. Some people in the chat were kind of correcting that. I would be surprised.
It is on Game Pass.
Several people said it wasn't in Game Pass. So
unless I got it wrong, I'll double check that. But I'm pretty sure I did double check everything last night to see what was and what wasn't in.
Okay.
And
well, I don't know. I just saw 2 or 3 people at least say it wasn't in Game Pass. So you might want to double check it. Total Chaos is in Game Pass and it released and I saw that and I was like, oh, this looks very much like a game that I would love to play. But then I just saw Magnum in the chat say that he tried it and it was cheeks. So that makes me a little sad, but it's in Game Pass and I really want to try that game. Reanimal, of course, but I've been kind of riding that Reanimal train for a while now since they announced it. So I don't need to see anything else, right? Like this is from the guys that originally made Little Nightmares, and they left that studio and started their own, and so that's why you see a lot of like the
similarities and art
DNA.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, the DNA of exactly. I think it's gonna be better. I think it's gonna be really, really good.
100%, yeah.
And yeah, Zoopunk, it's interesting. That's something I would probably try. Other than that, there really wasn't much else here off the top of my head that made me look much. But that's okay because, this is for everybody. And if I was still scoring it solely for me alone, it would be like a 4 out of 10. But I think the way the show was done and the breadth of what they have, if you're scoring it more like that, then I think it's probably like it's probably like an 8. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it today. Like I was going to score it. Like I would, and I hate to, like everyone's probably going to loop out in the chat. And this is actually good for me. Like I would give it a 7, right? Like, it's a 7-8. It's around that IGN good, right? It was good. Like it wasn't like, it wasn't supposed to blow your socks off, right? It wasn't like a Fable Perfect Dark reveal that they later on canceled. But like, it wasn't like that. Like that, one of those big shows. And Xbox has had some of those, like some of those hitters. So
sorry, I was corrected, and you are absolutely right. I had that backwards in my mind. I apologize. I don't know how to say your name. They didn't start a new studio. That's right. Little Nightmares got it. I don't think they actually did. They not own the IP or something like that. A different studio is doing Little Nightmares. Like did Little Nightmares 3. It's the same studio that's doing Reanimal. My bad. Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, it's a different studio that did it's what Little Nightmares 3 should have been, right?
Same devs.
Yeah. Same devs, yeah. 100%. Get ready, Mo is about to shout at Riskit. He shouts at me all show, like flat out. He loves it. Excuse me. Coughing on stream, how unprofessional. For me, there was actually a fair bit there. So like the Stellar Blade type thing, Holly, I'm sort of interested in that. Like I think it could be okay. And I played the Stellar Blade demo and I sort of didn't mind. I didn't mind it, but it wasn't like a $70 game for me. And then look, I bought Silent Hill on PlayStation. I tried to play it on PlayStation. I'm thinking of selling that thing. I just can't. I just don't. I just jump on the PlayStation. I just don't feel at home there, and I don't want to play there. So, and then it comes out on Xbox, and I'll probably buy it there, and I'll actually finish the game over here. The other thing is like getting achievements, all this stuff. I feel like I'm losing something playing PlayStation, and that's not me being a shill. It's just because PlayStation sucks. No, I'm kidding. It's just not my preferred platform. So, you know what I mean? And I guess that sort of leads me into the next sort of conversation around this whole partner thing, because it wasn't just games that we were talking about. I think the main thing to sort of shout out here is it seems like they've got that real pivot to play anywhere. And they showed a bunch of all of these games play anywhere, right? So you buy it on Xbox, you play it anywhere you want to play it except for PlayStation.
They have to do that now because of the handheld. They can't not have play anywhere on like practically everything they have because they are backing that handheld hardcore. Yeah,
but they don't have to, right? I don't know if that's the right verbiage. They don't have to, because traditionally they
would strongly encourage it, I would think, to the publishers.
They don't technically have to, but I mean, they kind of sort of have to, right? To keep the lifeblood of what they're trying to build moving forward successful. I mean, I'm not saying they have to as in like they can't publish a game on a console if it's not play anywhere, but like for the success of the handheld and the future that they have, which clearly has handhelds in it, and the Steam box idea, which is like trying to keep people in their ecosystem by having play anywhere with both the console and the PC game being under one license for you, they kind of have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps. Well, I mean, just the have to thing. Like they don't have to do anything, but like it works within their strategy, and then they shouldn't be, if they weren't doing this, they shouldn't pitch Play Anywhere as hard as they have. And I think a lot of the initial sort of reaction from a specific side of the community was that, you know, this is just not going to work. Like, how are they going to manage this? They're going to have to pay everyone for the Play Anywhere, and maybe they are, I don't know. But you know, how are they going to like follow this through? And like, you know, Xbox has typically pivoted, and then they pivoted over here, so that there's sort of the trust, you know, thing wasn't there. But I think this sort of shows a little bit of backing up the talk, right? Because Sarah Bond's been out like lots sort of talking about this whole, you know, buy it here, play it there, sort of Play Anywhere, all that sort of stuff. Really, they've been really pushing it hard. So Perfect Dark was not a gimmick, Big Madmo, at all. And you know, it's good to see them actually follow through. And I think that was the main sort of thing of this part of the preview. It is about the games, but like it was to show that, hey, we're bringing people into this Play Anywhere fold. And some of them are like, you know, some of them AAA, some of them are smaller. And it was a good mix there, I would say.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it did exactly what you kind of need something like that to do, especially if you don't have anything that's like groundbreaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this game that we have that's a third party is going to shock the world or something like that. I don't think a lot of that's happening right now. Some of the games that are coming out and hitting us are kind of like taking us by storm, or they've been in, like, you get to see the slow rollout, like the way Arc Raiders was. But I think for what they had to show, I came away again saying, oh, okay, this was cool. Like I didn't feel like it wasted my time. I felt like it was a good showing of the games that were offered. And enough of them appealed to me where I was like, hey, I can see myself trying that, especially for the ones that end up in Game Pass. I need to go back and take a look at that to see the ones that are actually going to show up on Game Pass.
Yeah, I gotta double check that, but it was maybe Dave the Diver isn't, but like I'll double check it. But yeah, I just think they did what they needed to do with this partner showcase, and I would say it's good. So 7, 8, I'm sort of sitting in between there. 7.5. I hate putting points on there, but like it's, you know what I mean. The other thing, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it and sort of get your, because I am not on PC, and nor will I ever be. Ever.
Ever.
But I mean, Donte, I know you do. And never, ever. Not even if the next console has PCS type stuff, that doesn't make it a PC. We just want to be clear on this. It's not a thing.
It's a PC.
It is not a PC. It's a console. Even the Steam box is a console. It's a console. It's got custom built stuffs in it, so that makes it console-esque. So this Xbox full screen, the FSC they're calling it, which is expanding to all gaming handhelds. It was on MSI, I think handhelds. I think I got that right. The MSI handhelds, the claw and all that sort of stuff. But now they're expanding it to all handhelds and all PCs. And there's a sort of a bit around this that you sort of need to understand what this actually is. And then Holly, I want to know if you've actually got access to it and if you've tried it. But it's a console style interface for Windows 11's handhelds. What it does is basically it'll hide the traditional desktop and it'll bring you into an Xbox sort of PC app. It doesn't load the full Windows experience, right? It takes a lot of the background processes and it doesn't boot them up, doesn't have them running in the background. So that frees up more memory. I think it's around about 2 gig of extra memory it can access by suppressing that stuff. And it will, if you set it up right, you can go into settings and change this, but it'll launch straight up on your PC or your handheld if you set it up to do so. So you can jump straight into a games. It's the storefront's all accessible by controller. So it's not like you need you can boot it up and then you're straight in with the controller and then away you go. It's not a PC. Not a PC. So yeah, it was previously exclusive to the ROG Ally X, the Xbox ones, but it's rolling out to all the handhelds. So we knew that was going to happen. It's happening a lot quicker than I thought it was. The best thing about the game library there is it unifies everything. So you have access to, Microsoft Store, Steam, Epic, Battle.net, Itch, all those, any store you want to put in there, you can have in there. Your games will be accessible through the store. So it's the one place to boot from, which I think is really, really clever. Yeah, and it's got that, as I said, the controller first navigation. So look, for me, this is that step towards the new console, which is going to be PC like not PC. Well, I'm not a hater of PC. I'm just a hater of the people who own them. And it's game it out. But I like the way they're moving. I like what they're doing. It's opening up the ecosystem. I think that there's one stepping stone that they've still got left to do, and I know that they're actually working on this. But I also know that they haven't. Well, I don't know this for sure, but last I heard, they have not been able to back compat Xbox console games on PC and have them running. They can do it, but what I'm saying is it would take up too much memory and actually hurts the experience, which is what they're working on trying to do. I would say a hypervisor, a virtual machine that sits within the machine that stops all the other stuff running in the background and runs that. But we'll see what they come up with. I think they're going to get that done. I hope they do before I think that may be what extends the release date of the console. We'll see. I've said a lot. Holly, have you had a chance to try it? And what do you think of it?
No, the handheld rollout was official today as of the 21st. And then the PC desktop experience is only now available for
Insider app.
Windows insiders. Yeah. And I used to be in the insider program, but I've
been on the insider program.
I turned it off because I have the Halo console. And I didn't want to take any chances of an insider rollout breaking my console, because I have heard that it's very rare, but I have heard that does happen. So I just didn't want to take any chances of breaking my Halo console. And then my PC, I don't know if you can turn it on PC, but not console. I guess I never thought of that. And even then, I'm a little hesitant to have a problem with my PC because I don't probably know how to fix it if something happens. So, but I do love the insider program. I generally try to always be in it.
Me too.
Just this gen, I didn't because of the Halo console.
Big fan.
So
big fan of that program.
It is. It's really good. I always enjoyed it, and I never had any issues with the program when I was in it before.
Depends on the program.
Yeah.
Generally a fan.
Wow.
So it just rolled out today for handheld. So no, I haven't.
We haven't tried it. But I'd be really interested to see. I want to see Digital Foundry do a run on, see how much that 2 gig actually affects the effectiveness of the games and how they run. And how that works. It does not
cost money. Sorry, it does not cost money to be an insider. You just go into your Xbox Insider Hub. It's the Xbox Hub. And request to be turned.
It's an app.
Request to be a part of it, and so generally you always get in.
So it's an app that you download. Is that Xbox Insider Hub? You download
it comes
the app.
Standard. I think it comes on the console. I think it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Does it? But yeah, I've been an insider since the program started. And I've got both my consoles on it. So I've got the S is on beta, and I think the X is on Delta. So there's a bunch of tiers that you can sort of get into, and if you first apply, you'll be in the lower tier. It also gives you access to early access games, trying stuff out. So like I played Kazan, Last Berserker, and a whole bunch of other games that I've tried as well. So absolutely jump on there and do it. Look, I have heard that occasionally, and directly from someone I know, he had his console bricked from it, but you do get some. You don't really get free. You do get free stuff. You earn points from doing it. Go in there and check it out. But
mainly it's early access to features. So a lot of times, like if they're rolling out something new to the dashboard, you'll get it before everybody else does. So you kind of make yourself a beta tester in that regard.
Yeah, and it can be a little bit buggy at times, but I've had minimal problems that would make me want to stop doing it, and I've never had a console brick. It's a rarity. I mean, I know I was also one of those guys who never got the red ring of death. until I think it was like I think the Xbox One had launched, and then I got the Red Ring of Death, and I was like, I'll send it off and buy an Xbox One. So I've been lucky in that regard. And I think that they've been better over the years. I think that was sort of early days. I've never heard of a series console bricking because of it. But yes, the Xbox Ones did brick. That did happen. So I don't think it'd happen these days. Maybe it would, but if it does, the thing, yes, a Grey Man owns a brick one of his Xbox Ones. The thing to know is that if you join the Insider program and it does brick your console, you don't get it. They don't replace it or repair it. So, it's just one of those things that you sort of take that risk or you don't. Which I don't think should
not worth the risk right now, because I think it's like hard. It's too hard to purchase one, man. Like everything that I see online for if you go to purchase an Xbox right now, it's kind of like a bundle deal if they have it, and it's like upwards of $700 generally for that, and then like getting it from other vendors it seems to be pretty hard, especially like through Amazon, unless it's one of those bundles. And Microsoft is, I don't know, do they still even have it on their site? That's not a crazy bundle.
Yeah, they do. They do. But there's plenty of people selling them secondhand, and that want to jump ship from the Xbox.
I don't want. So I don't want to risk breaking my consoles. My point.
As Big Mad Mo said, Xbox sucks. Which I can't believe that you said that in the chat, but it's all good.
Mo.
Can't believe you said that. Holly, Donte, let's talk about Call of Duty. But before we do, please hit the like button, share us out. We go live at 7:30 p.m. EST every second week-ish or so. And I'll try to be a little bit better with updating people. And I say that every week, but it never happens, but I'll try to. I have a busy life. Call of Duty, the Game Pass effect. There is some interesting conversations to talk about with this one. So just sort of some things of note. It's the lowest rated user scored Call of Duty ever in history. I've seen a lot of the cheating online. It's just absolutely ridiculous. You see that every year. But this year I've seen a lot of that. And shout out to Xbox Era for giving a 90. What did you guys think? Holly? Donte?
So Donte and I played camping co-op all one session and with VarQ for a good chunk of it. I very much enjoyed it. It's not okay. It's like when you play Mass Effect Andromeda, right? Mass Effect Andromeda is inherently a very fun, decent game. It's a good game. It's just not a good Mass Effect game, right? Like if you take it out of the Mass Effect universe, it's a good game. It just doesn't compare to the first three. And I feel like this Call of Duty is a good, fun game. It doesn't compare to Black Ops 6 campaign or Modern Warfare 1 and 2's campaign, but it's a good campaign. It was fun. I had a good time with it. The story is a little cheesy. It's a little, but I mean, if you don't take it too seriously, it was a fun time. I personally thought it was way better than Modern Warfare 3. I thought Modern Warfare 3 was utter garbo. So I don't know. It's very popular to hate on Call of Duty right now, especially when we have two other very popular shooters out. But it's popular to hate on Call of Duty no matter what anyway, right? But and I don't think all the hate is fair. I am a Call of Duty player. I'm an Arc Raiders player. But I don't know. Like they deserve a lot of the flack that they get. But I think if you are fairly objective about what they turn around and how consistent and good how they are consistently turning one out. And granted, some aren't, some are clearly rebuilding years.
Yeah, right?
They're always technically pretty perfect, right? Like they never have any stuttering issues, flaws, right? Like every campaign runs perfect. There's like no T-pose characters, none of that crap going on. And they're usually very cinematic, bombastic things, and they're just fun. And I think I don't think they deserve all the hate that they get. I think multiplayer deserves a lot of flack, and I think that Activision after this year, even before the launch of Arc Raiders and Battlefield, they had started to kind of finally start to waffle on some of the things that they're getting a lot of grief for, like skill-based matchmaking, which I don't necessarily agree with all the people who are complaining about skill-based matchmaking, but they finally listened, and they have those open. They have like the open modes, which means that it's like less skill-based matchmaking. And then, of course, all of the cosmetic crap that goes on and the microtransactions out the booty. And that's a whole separate thing from what the campaign is. Campaign was a good time. It's not a good Call of Duty campaign per se, but it was a good time. That's my opinion. Donte?
Yeah. So I have words. No. I enjoyed playing it, especially playing it co-op. It's more arcadey, right? So if you're going into it and you're saying, hey, arcadey. I want to play a mil sim, like most of all the campaigns have been between, COD and Battlefield, then that would probably piss you off, right? Because you're probably expecting to see something that's more grounded, and it's more like there's a lot of like, is this happening in my head type of fantastical things that are happening, which is again more arcadey, right? Like crazy ability to jump super high in the sky and all that good stuff, right? But for me, like I just bought into that, right? In terms of just like play the game, the mechanics work really, really well. I think the story is the one part I would have a fault in, right? Because like a lot of times we were saying like we don't quite know exactly what's happening within the story, so maybe the story could have been done better, where it comes across as a little bit more coherent. But outside of that, like in terms of the gameplay elements, how it performed, and playing co-op and stuff, that all worked really, really well. And again, I'm not gonna be upset if anybody or say someone's opinion is wrong if they're upset because they felt like they wanted it to be more of a milsim. I don't think every shooter has to be like that because it's COD or Battlefield. I think sometimes you can basically kind of play around with it a little bit and change the formula up a little bit. Otherwise, you're just basically doing the same repetitive thing year after year when your game releases, right? Where it's always going to be like, how are we going to tell the same type of story, right? What is the threat this time that this particular team is working to try to solve that's happening on a geopolitical landscape, right? And don't get me wrong, like that exists, but again, it's that plus a more of an arcadey feel with the campaign, which to me I thought it was fine. That worked for me. I didn't find myself saying, "Oh man, that was shit." Is it the best campaign? No, but is it a fun campaign, especially if you play it with co-op? I thought so. I had a good time fitting. I think that's the object. Is if I can sit down and play the whole damn thing within one setting, then that means it was good enough for me to get what I wanted from it. So I'm with you when it comes to, I think things happen in these weird cycles as to like. I wish there'll be years where like Battlefield and COD can release and people can just enjoy the games for what they both do, as opposed to it seems like it's like, all right, is this the year where Battlefield's going to be popular again, and then people are going to be like, all right, but it got to be at the expense of hating COD, and then maybe in a year or two it gets reversed, right? Where their Battlefield starts to basically rest on its laurels or basically drop the ball some, and then people are hating on it again, and all of a sudden COD's the game that everybody loves again. And I feel that's what will eventually happen. That tends to be the cycle with gamers. Like, let's hate on this. It's the big behemoth, the big popular game. Let's hate on it. It's dropping the ball a little bit, and then give them a year or two to kind of rewrite the ship, and then people are like, oh, it's back again. So that's just the weird cycle of gaming. I just wish you can just be like, hey, I enjoy both. I play COD, I play Battlefield, and I think both have their pros and cons, but I like them both. Like that's just me. That's where I come from and how I play both of these games. So,
I mean, I'm watching this gameplay and I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. Dude's jumping like 50 feet in the, like, what the look. So I haven't played it yet. So I don't have a whole lot I can say about it, but this is my sort of, and I'm a COD player. I've always been more of a Battlefield player, but there's been a long time where Battlefields haven't been great. So COD's been the go-to. When I was a COD, I've actually, if you back in the day when we had that museum, I think it was 2021, I went back and had a look, and it was actually COD that I played the most of. It was the original Modern Warfare 3 was my most played game ever of all time at that time. So yeah, I'm a COD player. I got a lot of love for COD, but I just wish they would stop doing this. Had it with these guys fucking up all the time. No, this whole arcadey thing is they need to stop doing this. Like every time they do it, it doesn't land as hard as the previous one. I think look, Cold War was pretty arcadey, and it wasn't like it was World War II again arcadey. But those two at least did have really good campaigns. And when I look at this, I don't feel like it's Modern Warfare 3 was, I think, based on what you guys are telling me from what I've heard and seen, Modern Warfare 3 had a way worse campaign. It was horrific.
Yes,
horrific.
I think BT says something that I kind of agree with, that like maybe they should just not have made it Black Ops, right? It could have just been another installment in terms of a COD game, but give it a different name. Because again, what is your anticipation, Riskit, that you want it to be more like Milsim, right? Similar to like last year's COD, right? You wanted something more grounded in that regard.
Yeah, but I think that any COD should do that, right? I think they're all CODs, because
that's what I'm saying. At that point, though, are you becoming stale? Are you doing the same thing? How many times are you telling the same Milsim story?
So it leads into the next thing I was going to say, which is like they do this arcadey thing every time. It never lands as well as when they do that Milsim stuff. And I feel like, to your point, and maybe my way is from a more negative way and you're saying it in more positive ways, but they do this on purpose. I feel like it's done on purpose so that when they lead into the next one, you know what I mean? Like this is the step to the next one where everyone's like,
and there was like, they're back.
That was shit. And then it's oh my God, they're back again sort of thing. Like I sort of feel like it might be on purpose that they do this. And they probably do it like, it would be balancing a P&L, right? They'd be looking at a sheet going, we'll make this one for this much and like just sort of run off whatever's there. And then this one we'll throw the money into, and we think this one's going to be the big money maker, and then so on and so forth. And look, it doesn't look terrible. Like it actually, like graphically, yes, Holly, they always land, like it always looks good, even though it's very arcadey, which I think is crap. Performance, arcadey, all that stuff.
Here's my biggest complaint. My actual biggest complaint with this campaign is solely the fact that they gave absolutely no like 2 to 5 minute cinematic historical trailer into the gameplay. So like I was explaining to Donte who Menendez was, who Mason was, who Frank Woods was, like he didn't know any of these characters, and they didn't give any sort of like, I mean, there's a little bit of history within the story of the campaign to be like, oh, this little thing happened, but you didn't, like, even Donte wasn't picking up like what they were referring to exactly, or how that led into who these characters are now, right? So I was like, oh, well, like Wood shot this person because he thought it was this other person, but he wasn't, because this thing happened, right? Like, so they should have done it. It would not have been hard for them to take some, like I said, like 3 to 5 minutes of video from the previous cutscenes and campaigns, and even just use the old footage, right? Like, even if it does look old, who cares?
Yeah,
I
agree. Yeah. Like some type of a recap, because like my memory is probably shoddy on all of the games, and it's like, unless I felt like if you had played them recently, like you're like, oh, this one's coming up, let me go ahead and replay some of the other ones in preparation. At least for me, it wasn't fresh in my mind as to exactly what was happening for some of the characters that we're coming across, right? So Holly had to be my educator basically in some of the previous lore, and some of that maybe could have been solved at the for nice opening kind of a recap, similar to like I mean, I think even a few games do that, right? Where they're doing like a continuation and kind of like previously and yada, yada, yada. So if something like that could have been useful, I don't think it would have changed much for the people who are probably still expecting more of a grounded Milsim game and for its more arcadey aspects, but still it would have helped good for the lore aspect of it. So I agree with you on that.
I just, again, it's there's running up walls bullshit, and all that stuff is, and it worked in
But the wall,
it worked in Titanfall.
Running, it's not wall running. It's just a wall jump, and that is actually like what regular humans would could do, right? It's kind of just like parkour. It's not like running sideways, like parallel to the ground.
Yeah,
it's just using it kind of like a bounce off platform, like a parkour kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not not Titanfall wall running. It's not like that.
Yeah, no.
Wall jumping is not cool, Fuzzy. Yeah, but like in a real this is why I sort of prefer Battlefield. There's a little bit more tactical, like carefulness. You know what I mean? Whereas COD's just run and gun. So yeah, look, I get it. Sort of fits that. It just every time they do this, man, I'm like, please don't do this again. And they do it again, and that's okay because it's their game. It's not my game.
Because it's not just for you, right? There's people that do like that stuff.
Not many, based on the user reviews.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking like if the story would have been more coherent because of the gameplay, I think that maybe it's a little bit more successful. Again, it just depends on, and it could be like a cyclical thing, right? Like, hey, we can take a little bit more of a risk on this one, and then we can always, people can complain about it, and we can always come back more to a grounded story within whatever the next iteration that we're gonna, really kind of peak out on. So
I sort of agree with your point because when you think about it, Titanfall had all this sort of stuff in it. And that was cool, right? But it wasn't a COD, right? So I think COD just needs to remain COD. And if they want to let their studios branch out and go, hey, this year we're not doing a COD, we're doing a new thing, and then actually make a really good campaign out of it, and go all in on the tech, you know what I mean? Like have mechs or have like,
They should just have one. They should just have it segmented. And what I mean by that is like, you got one that is kind of more like modern, right? Where it's like, modern warfare, right? You got one that's kind of modern, where the weaponry and stuff all kind of resembles stuff that exists now or could exist within the near future, right? And you did one with that was kind of based in the future, so maybe you should just have like a different storylines, right? Where one is more like future based, where we can take more risk and become more arcadey, and one is more grounded inside of like modern warfare, like something that's more within our time frame in terms of the gadgets and the weaponry that's available. And then also you have your ability to go back and do stuff like the old World War I and II or Vietnam, etc. You got the old school stuff that you can always lean into if you need to. But like if you segment it that way, then people know exactly what they're getting when you announce it. And so I think the expectation is what hurts them in that regard, right? Because you got someone saying, okay, I'm thinking I'm going to get something that's closer to a Millicent and a grounded story, and it's Black Ops, and then I don't get that, I'm pissed off. If from the get-go, this one is going to be a little bit more, a little bit more arcadey, the story's going to be a little more bombastic, they're going to take more of a risk and stuff, but it's based off of like, more of a futuristic war setting, I don't think people get as pissed off because they know exactly what's happening, right? What's within that particular segment. So maybe they need to be a little bit more clear and keep those storylines split in that regards, where like one's future based, one's more current based, and then anything that happens that's previous wars from like the World Wars or again Nam, etc. So that might save them some grief from people.
Yeah, I mean, Magnum says in the chat, COD has been doing some wacky stuff since Black Ops 2, and like they have, and like most of it has not come off. Like most of it, like some of it has.
Did you like any of the Black Ops series?
Black Ops 6 is dope.
Yeah,
6 is good.
Black Ops 2 is good. The story of Black Ops is cool. Black Ops Cold War was good too. Cold War was really good.
I mean, the campaign was good. Like, and I like that. And that was the closest we got to sort of Vietnamese stuff, right? And I would love, we haven't seen a Vietnamese. I'd like to see an old school sort of I know, I think they're a little bit of a victim of their own success, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, they sort of need to have that cycle where something's not really landing, so that when the one that they should have done,
it's always cool to hate on the big dog, man. You know what I'm saying? You build something up. People like to take it off. You hate on the big dog, and then it can come back later. That's just the way unfortunately the way humans work, right?
That's not me though. Like I'm not.
That's humans. It's not necessarily you. That's humans. Humans do.
Yeah, but if they care, I'm not worried about what other people sort of think about it. To be honest, like I mean, except to support my argument, of course, because that this sucks, which is basically the only reason I'm using it. Otherwise, I don't care. If like someone doesn't like something, I don't really care. But if someone does like something, I don't really care either. Like it. But my thing is they're sort of a victim of their own success in ways. Like you are doing cool shit here and there, and then you're running out of ideas, right? Or you're running out of stuff, and then you got to go back to the basics. I mean, that's what we saw in Modern Warfare 1 or Modern Warfare 2019. Is they went back to the basics. They focused on that realism. It was more mil-simi. They still had the COD sort of staples, and man, I was like, oh my God, finally we are back, because there was a long hiatus for me away from Call of Duty as well. Which was good, man. It was good that Battlefield was fucking up and COD was fucking up at the same time, because I was like, well, there's other games to play and I'll go play those. And that sort of broadened my horizons. So I'm grateful that happened. But what I mean is victim of their own success is there's only so many times you can sort of do a thing. You know what I mean? So you've got to build some space between this thing and that thing so you can sort of come back to that thing. We see that a lot with the industry. Obviously, your Silent Hill remakes, your Last of Us. How many remakes are they up to now? Like remaster, I think it's 20, 23. Something like that. So we see that a lot in the industry. So I mean, I'm not like fuck God and like hate it. I'm like this one's probably not for me, but it's on Game Pass. So eventually, when I can pull myself away from this other stuff, I'll jump on and check it out. And maybe I'm wrong because I haven't played it. Right. So all of this is caveated with I have not played it. So we'll see, but. It's the way that I sort of feel is, what was that Space one, Holly, that you say had a really good campaign that I have never played?
Infinite Warfare.
Infinite Warfare.
Very good. You never played it. You just complain about it.
That's another one that I hear really good things about.
It's really good.
The campaign's really good.
You should be out here like raging a storm about something you haven't even tried.
That's classic.
I'm not raging about it. I'm like, I'm not. This is the thing. This is the thing. I'm not upset. People take this whole thing as me being upset. I'm not upset about it. I just think it's trash, right? But the thing is what I know, and again, like I said, cycles, they come around, they come back. But the other thing is there's so much to play right now. I'm very much like meh. You know what I mean? Like probably if we didn't have the podcast, I probably would not give this a second thought, or even think about it at all, right? But obviously when we're talking about it, you guys have played it. I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Then I had to look at the user scores, and I'm like, holy shit, like not looking good. But you guys say it was all right. It's sort of a fun thing. But I agree. I just think that they need to like make it something else. So it shouldn't have Woods in it and all these guys like and all that stuff. Like have some new characters in it that we can hate on appropriately, so it's not spoiling the other characters. Does that work for you, Holly?
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, look, I'll give it a crack and we'll see what happens. But I just disappointing.
It's only like 4 hours, so
Yeah, it's not.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
And then also to caveat this as well, like a massive Battlefield 6 fan, I was playing. I haven't even finished that campaign because it's boring as batshit. I was just bored. I'm like, this is just boring. Like I want the skins and I want the achievements, but I'm bored. I just stopped. I just focused on the multiplayer. So
that's what I'm saying. That's the risk of just doing another milsim, right? Because the story has to be really, really tight. If you don't have a really good story and you do a milsim, you'll do exactly that, where hardly nobody plays your campaign, and then that's where they're like, well, why should we make a campaign? And it's like it's that fine line,
and
right?
COD didn't even put out a campaign with Black Ops 4, I think it was, right? 4 had no campaign because they were just like, whatever, we'll just do multiplayer.
And that was trash. That whole game was trash. Again, that was another one that I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And that was an arcadey one. And I was like, oh, this is at the free play days. Same with COD. I'm just not an arcadey shooter guy. Like, same with Cold War when they put out the multiplayer test, the open beta sort of thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. We're back to this bullshit again. And then I'm looking at the multiplayer for this one, and I'm seeing, the ridiculous quick snipes, the jumping off the walls, the ridiculous. It is a streamer's dream. Like streamers are loving this one because you can pull off some shit. You say
cool. You're a COD player, but I don't really think you're a COD player.
I am. I am an Infinity.
Really think you are.
I am an Infinity Ward player. I'm not a Treyarch guy. I fucking hate Treyarch. Every time they do one, I ended up hating it. I think it's a type of COD. Hey, what?
Tell us how you really feel. Hey, do you like? You like Treyarch? Just curious.
I do not like Treyarch. I wish Treyarch would go away. It should just go back to Infinity Ward. Infinity Ward were the originals. They make the best ones, and they should just get rid of everyone. Let them go make whatever they want to make, and then just have Infinity Ward create one every 2 to 3 years. I'd be happy with that. I think that's the best move. But that doesn't make the bank, so like whatever. It is what it is. We'd hope that they do that. They would let people out of the salt mines, but they haven't. What they've done is locked them down further, and then and then actually like fired people from the salt mines. But it is what it is. And we'll see what happens. But one thing I will say is I do not think that this is like that. There's a little bit of a narrative online of people going, "Oh, it's because it's Xbox now and they fucked it." I'm like, "Oh my, shut the fuck." There was even it wasn't GamerAnx. It was another. I think I've got them sort of pinned here. Is Gaming Bolt, who basically in their video and their sort of their write up blamed Game Pass. This is the Game Pass effect. I'm like, it's got fuck all to do with Game Pass.
It's so lazy. It's just very, very lazy. It's lazy and opportunistic journalism. It's what's going to drive traffic. Don't get me started. I don't want to get in a bad mood. I was having
get
a
him
good time.
Started. Go.
I was having a good time. So, yeah. Let me.
Let's ride.
Let me not.
It really is. And the exact words that they used in the thing was, "This is the Game Pass effect." And I'm like,
I wonder if they've seen that
doesn't
somewhere online. Have they seen that somewhere online on Twitter? I bet.
No, yeah, exactly. And Game Pass
not even
doesn't make games bad. Like it's like this whole fucking thing. It's like it's got nothing to do with Game Pass. This is just because Treyarch's trash. And Infinity Ward is the one and only. And that's Vince Zampala's studio. I'm just saying.
How come they didn't say that about Black Ops 6? That was well received. It's like, it's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny the cherry pick, right? It's like, oh, if game comes out and is really good, the narrative will be like, oh, well, that was already in development before they got acquired.
So
same thing with this one. Yeah, Treyarch wasn't just working on this within the last 6 months. So it's like a lot of these things have been in development for years, right? For years. It's cherry picking.
So the pitch was on this one, as they were saying, is that because it's been in Game Pass, it was in Game Pass last year. That's had an effect. That was the first year it was in Game Pass, so that's had an effect on this year. And now the player numbers are down. It couldn't just be that like a lot of people don't like this type of COD. Couldn't just be that, right? Has to be Xbox. Holly, I know you do. It's cool.
I think it's a culmination.
No.
Right?
There's also I should just say it. There's also the fact that, I mean, you've got two other very major similar shooter games that have entered very successfully within a month of your launch. Plus, it is very obvious that this is a rebuilding year, and Modern Warfare 4 next year is going to come out guns ablaze in full swing, right? Like it's going to be kind of like
Infinity
Black
Ward.
Ops 6 was, right? Where it's going to be a huge banger, right? Because they're counting on that, and they're revamping the whole thing again. That's what they do. So there's just this year is just it's just
I think it's a culmination
year, right?
of a few things. The off year, it's the competition of certain games that came out, and it's like a lot of things
the hate
is timing,
train
right?
for COD on the whole too.
A lot of things is timing, like what comes in, what captures people's attention, the zeitgeist at that moment, and then you get on the wrong side of the hate train, and then it just builds, right? And then people who haven't even played the game are probably like, just this sucks now. Right, we've just all collectively decided to be like, "Yo, this sucks now." not saying you risk it, but I'm just saying, but like that stuff happens, unfortunately, right? And then next year, hopefully, the next Modern Warfare will knock it back out of the park, and then it'll be like, "Yo, COD's back again." Who knows? That's just generally how I've seen these things become cyclical, and I think this is just bad timing, and I mean a combination of bad timing, maybe also the direction of the game. Just it is. I feel like it's a rebuilding year, right? And this is basically like they're on that schedule where maybe they need to take a year or two off. Maybe they need to not be on the schedule, but whatever.
I just know what I hate, and I hate this. Look, I'll play it and then I'll come back and I'll give you my honest, because and this is the thing.
But
spoiler alert.
If you play it, try to play a co-op.
Yeah, play with
I'll give
Monad.
it a go.
It's good.
Yeah, try to play a co-op.
I don't want to put Monad through that, but I think he's already actually played it. I'll download it on my hard drive and I'll play it while I'm away on a terrible TV. So it makes the experience even worse, so that I can really come back hard and just trash it, and I'll turn up the bloom and the brightness so it looks terrible. Take screenshots, post it online, like someone was doing with Silent Hill. Ridiculous.
Do that.
Anyway, that's pretty much where the show's sort of rounding up. It's been an interesting week. I think it's going to be a very interesting end of the year. We're looking at the Game of the Year awards. There's a lot sort of coming up on that. Probably next show I want to do a bit of a run through on what we think Game of the Year is going to be, where we're at, because it's been a big year. It's going to be interesting. I would like to see Expedition 33 sort of get it, just because they're a AA. But Ark, there's Battlefield 6 as well. There's a lot. Can't believe Ark didn't get nominated for sound. That's fucking insanity. But yeah.
They got kind of roadblocked, it seemed like, right? Maybe next year is a year that they'll be in a bunch of things, but it seems like they got a real roadblock for this year's awards.
Yeah, and very interesting that Sony's got like 19 nominations.
I'll tell you what.
Like what the
you're gonna see a side of me if a certain game wins Game of the Year.
Oh, good.
Death Stranding.
I look forward to it.
I'm just saying. If a certain game I'm gonna be like, oh, I see what we're doing.
I mean, that'd be obvious, right?
Because see what we're doing.
He's under the desk at Kojima's studio like most of the time. I think he just climbs out for the Game of the Year awards. And then also PlayStation. So yeah. I fully expect that that's going to be the case. But it shouldn't. It's the sigh. Look, on that note, don't let people know what you're up to, where they can find you, all that good stuff.
Yeah, good people. Catch me on the socials, Donte J Moody. Catch me here on Fridays, as always, with the folks. I'll be on some Battlefield this weekend and on some Arc Raiders this weekend, and that's about it. Yeah, I'll be doing that, some Arc and some Battlefield. That's gonna be my life, and I'm looking so forward to it. I'm like really extremely happy about this prospect. I'm gonna go get a burger, guys. I haven't had a burger in like a month and a half. So,
oh my god, great. A burger and Arc Raiders sounds like,
you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get a burger and a chocolate shake.
Are you gonna come in? Are you gonna come and rep the Bungalators with me tomorrow night?
And what? And get our ass kicked? I mean, cool.
What?
No, I can't.
We're
I can't.
not.
Wait. What time are you gonna? What time are you going?
I
can't go to tomorrow night. But I'll be on tomorrow. Day.
The war is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central.
Godspeed. Be safe.
Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Don't be safe.
I'll be
the
out.
Opposite.
I have plans. I'm gonna step out into the world tomorrow night. I have plans, but I'll be on during the daytimes. So during the daytime, Saturday, Sundays, I'll be on during those times.
Copy that.
No.
I'll keep an eye out.
You later.
Right.
Shout out to
I'll be on. I'll be on night shifts. So when I'm playing, it'll be your nighttime. So that'll be pretty cool. I'll try to catch up with you guys in and out. Holly, let people know where they can find you, what's happening coming up, and obviously, guys, don't forget links in the description. Head down there, click those, do the thing. 4XP Gaming, all that stuff. Holly.
I am going to be on Web Dave on Sunday night. So if you want to come by Web Dave's channel,
shout out to Web Dave.
Yep, I'll be there with him on Sunday. And then what else? Be looking. We're gonna start some promo stuff, I think, for fan art pretty soon. So if you've liked the coins and you want to see more and maybe something additional and very, very cool, we are working on some stuff. And there may be more opportunities, but we have a ton of coins in right now for giveaways. We still have Avowed that's up, but we also have Outer Worlds 2 coins. I think Outer Worlds 2 might be the best looking ones that I've ever seen. They're so good. We have Ninja Gaiden 4. We have Call of Duty, and one more. What was the other one?
Helldivers.
What was the other? Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I want a Helldivers.
Thank you.
I want a Helldivers.
Helldivers. We got a whole bunch in recently, so we need to start getting some giveaways done. So
cool. Sign me up for like all of those, and I'll redo the whole giveaway thing because we haven't for a while, and we need to. I think we should, if we're allowed to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I am going to kind of took a little break from my channel because I had a whole bunch of stuff going on and my internet was kind of borking, but it seems to be stable now, so I'm gonna get my channel back up and running here as well. And so I will probably be doing a very small quantity of giveaways as well. So look out for that. Thank you, and thanks chat for being here. Thank you everyone for always showing up, and you're really appreciated, and we enjoy the conversation, especially when Mo yells at us. It just really, it's the best.
Right, there's Mo's last scream. Yeah, man, shout out to the chat. You guys have been absolutely awesome, sort of sticking with us in this sort of tumultuous time where I'm a bit up and down with times in the shows, and you guys on the panel for putting up with my we are, we aren't sort of thing. Need to work on this and be better, and hopefully it will be better soon.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then shout out to everyone on Twitter. Like Twitter obviously came through represented because it was like 350 that came in through there.
46 last I checked.
Yeah, it might have been might be have something to do with this whole me saying that the show might have been 10 out of 10. Right? They might have got upset. Anyway, we'll see you all in the next one.
And peace, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.